Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, I wanted to start a new sort of resource that I'm going to be offering each month. It's going to be the moon messages for each life path number. And so I'm going to take a look at the numerology forecast and include animal wisdom messages for the full and the new moons each month. So we're going to start doing that for the full moon that's coming up on August 31st, 2023. So we'll take a deeper dive into each life path number, what you can expect, what energies you can be expecting to work with when it comes to the numerology, and then your animal wisdom message for that moon cycle. So for the day of the illumination, and then the couple weeks that follow. Of course, to get the most sort of dialed in, most accurate reading for your own personal journey, the best solution, of course, is a personal reading. So if you would like to book some time with me, my information is in the description box below. I would love to work with you and take a look. You can book some time with me there. And then also, if you are on my YouTube channel and you're a subscriber, or if you're not a subscriber, subscribe. But if you're a subscriber, make sure you hit the bell, because that way when I drop videos, you'll be alerted. And so you can catch those as they come out. And that also helps my channel kind of work with this crazy algorithm that we're working with YouTube these days. So I appreciate that in advance if you enjoy these videos. All right, let's go ahead and dive in. Life Path 22-4. So this full moon on August 31st for you all is highlighting the energy of the 5 and spider energy. So these two work together actually really beautifully. And so with spider energy, there's something about you creating your own web. And so there's some kind of creativity that's coming through, something that you've been working on. And the reminder that if, whatever it is that you've created or are in the process of creating is not working, or, your heart's no longer in it, guess what? You can change gears and create a different web. And I think that that's a really great reminder for 22-4s, especially because with 4 energy, 4 is your life path. With 4 energy, we can get so committed to something and so loyal to something because we've dedicated energy towards it, or we've committed ourselves to it, right? That we lose sight of the fact, we lose sight of checking in with ourselves to say, do we still want this? Is it working? Is our heart still in it? That sort of thing. And if the answer is no, then why are we continuing to dedicate ourselves to it? And that's sort of the message with spider coming through is around this full moon, you may see it sort of illuminated for you where it is that you've dedicated yourself to something, and you're so loyal to the point of sort of not willing to give up on it, even though it's no longer working. I mean, it's really not working. It's kind of one of those things like the spider built the web, in the worst possible place, not knowing, but, and it's not getting any nutrients. And so either the spider moves the web or the spider dies, right? Now that's a little dramatic, and of course it's only a metaphor, but it's that same kind of energy, right? Where it's like, if your heart's not in it, but you continue to build it, it's not your dream anymore. It's somebody else's. And that's only going to lead to frustration, anger, resentment, etc. And so with this is just the reminder, especially around this full moon, you have the agency and sort of the responsibility to create and be responsible for your own web. And so if you're not happy with that web, then you have the power to sort of tear that one down and rebuild somewhere else. And of course, you can do that in a loving way and all those things. But there's definitely something here about just don't lose sight of that, right? And so you may find that there's some pressure put on, or it's kind of a highlighted area as far as where it is that you continue to show up to something that your heart's not in, or that you're starting to feel resentful towards because you're too loyal to it, and you're not taking that responsibility to say, I don't want this anymore, so why do I keep showing up to it? And it could be a career, relationship, belief systems, you name it. Just remember that you are the weaver of your web in this lifetime, and you always have the agency and the responsibility to change it if you don't like it. The other thing with Spider coming through is this is a highly, highly, highly intuitive energy, as is 22-4. And so, just a call to, especially around this full moon, follow your gut, follow your instincts, because follow that intuition, your heart center, because if there's something that you're not sure about and you need to make some kind of a decision, that's where your greatest aligned answer is going to come from, right? You can get advice from other people, but really that heart center is never going to steer you wrong. It might be uncomfortable, but it's never going to steer you wrong, and it's going to be what is right for you. So that could come in as well. The other piece with Spider is about balance, bringing things back into balance, which for you all, 22, double twos. So that's all about balance and relationships. So bringing things into harmony, bringing things into balance. So if there's relationships that need some attention, that might come up around this full moon. If there's anything in your life that really feels like it's out of whack, this is the time to kind of recalibrate a little bit, if you can, right? And rebalance that in some way. Also collaboration. So anywhere that you can kind of gain new perspectives, get new ideas, share the road with others. This is going to be the time to do that. And you might meet new connections at this time that help to balance you out. You just have to be open to them. As fours, especially, right? Sometimes we see that we're very solution focused. So we might see the solution and be like, all right, I'm going for it. And then we kind of get that tunnel vision where we're not going to listen to other people's advice or their ideas or their wisdom or their expertise, because we already have seen the solution. And so we feel like we can do it best or do it right. And sometimes that just makes us work harder, not smarter. So this is a great time if there's any part of your life where you kind of have done that, to readjust and to, listen to what other people have to say, because we all have limitations. And even with those limitations, right? Like if we can reach out to people to help us, then we can work smarter, not harder. With the energy of the 5 coming through at this full moon, there's definitely something here about change, some kind of shift, but freedom. So what this really brings in for me for 22-4s is this idea of, because the 5 is unconventional, it absolutely loves thinking outside the box. It loves freedom. It doesn't love rules and systems and, being meticulous. It likes to be, have free range. And so sometimes that can make the 4 a little bit uneasy, because the 4 often likes systems, organization, things that are non-ambiguous. Where the 5 thrives on ambiguity. And so you may find around this full moon that you're asked to sort of step outside your comfort zone, to break free from somewhere where you may have gotten too rigid or too restrictive. And so that can be uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. And so when the 5 comes in, it comes in to shake things up. It comes in to make things a little bit chaotic so that things can shift, so that we can move forward, especially in areas that have become overly mundane or too rigid. And so, or where we become, again, too loyal or focused on something that we don't even want anymore, or that's not aligned anymore. And so this 5 energy coming in with Spider energy just makes me think that there's some area in your life where it needs a shakeup and where you need to rebuild a web somewhere different, somewhere else, or that looks different, right? There needs to be some kind of modification there, because it's some area where you're so sort of focused on it or dedicated to it that you're missing that it's not working. And so the 5 comes in to say, hey, this isn't working, and shoves it off the desk. And this isn't working, and shoves it off the desk. And this isn't working, and kind of just puts everything in disarray. So then you have to regroup. And so pay attention to where that is, because you might find that you're rebuilding a web after this full moon. But that's okay. That's okay. That's, anytime these energies come in, it's to help shift us towards our greatest potential in this lifetime. And continue to move towards that. So it's helping energy, but just a heads up that might come in for some, but that's a good thing. Let it give you a different perspective. Let it kind of knock you out of that tunnel vision if you've found yourself in it. So big energy. I would say go with the flow. See where it takes you, type thing. Try not to have too much control. I mean, you might not have much control. So just kind of like go with the flow and see where it takes you. It's a shorter cycle, right? It's a couple of weeks, but what it shows you in that couple of weeks can be profound. So pay attention. All right. I hope it's a great one. Take care, 22 fours. Bye for now.